Hey y'all, welcome to part two of our conversation with our amazing speaker on the Do the Change podcast. We're going to hop right back into the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify page, and follow us on Instagram at Do the Change Podcast. Right. Well, I'm going to do a hard topic shift. So I know this because we talked about it before you went, but you took a trip to Thailand. So please tell us, one, how you got that awesome opportunity, because I thought that was really cool and just really demonstrates the power of networking or just knowing people and just being a dope person. And then also like what you did there and how was that experience like at that conference? It was a conference, right? In Thailand or something
Yeah, it
of
was
that
a
nature?
conference.
Yeah.
So the way I got to join that opportunity, I mentioned him earlier, Garrett Brown.
Yeah.
So he is part of the Maquiladora Health and Safety Support Network. That was created in the early 90s in response to NAFTA. And all the maquiladoras, which are just factories that were created in northern Mexico along the border. So being from San Diego and my mom from Tijuana, she worked in maquiladoras. My family still works in them, so I knew it's a good opportunity to make that. And especially now, since I'm starting work with a consulting firm, to really get my chops in industrial hygiene and really get that boots on the ground, real experience. I still wanted to do something that would bring me back, as a base to make an impact. And I thought that opportunity with Garrett Brown, and he was an instructor for a global occupational health class at Berkeley. So I was introduced to him. And then again, with that AIHA local section, just being able to check in with them every few months. So a few months ago, I emailed him, be like, hey, yo, Garrett, I want to get involved more once I graduate. How can I do that? We had lunch. In the first 10 minutes, he mentioned this opportunity. And he would have gone himself, but these long trips around the world are getting a little too much for him. So he posed the opportunity to me, and I wasn't going to say no.
Right.
Absolutely not. And the conference is for an organization called ANRO, which is the Asian Network. I'm forgetting.
You picked the hardest acronyms.
Occupational and environmental victims. I forgot what that means. So it's a network of different occupational health and safety organizations, advocacy groups, activists, unions from Asia. And they also bring in their victims too, that were that experience occupational health and safety illness or experience illness at work, injury. And something I learned, again, even when I first heard the victim part, I thought, wow, that's interesting, especially coming from the United States. We're so accustomed to hearing survivor versus victim.
I literally, you read my mind, because my mind went, are they survivors? Wait, are they?
Right.
I'm so glad you said that.
So it seems like, and it's that cultural competence part where victim is, I guess, more of a honorable thing in that side of the world. So there's honor to that. So it's that difference of how we look at the word from here versus there. Point is, experience health and safety, injury, and illness at work, and that's what I mean. I don't care whether you call yourself survivor or victim, whatever. You experience something at work. And it was really interesting to immerse myself in that world. One, get myself out of the bubble of not only what I learned in school and what I'm doing here in Northern California, but get out of the bubble of the United States and go other side of the world and see what that's like, and the kind of work that they're doing, and how they're advocating for their occupational health and safety rights at work. So that was the most interesting thing. I was there just open ears, open eyes, just taking in as much as I could, checking in with Garrett here and there, to put things into perspective. But it was a really great experience. The first 2 days were just what you would think of in a normal conference, people speaking, making presentations, The most valuable thing was on the third day, we took a field trip about 2 hours north of Thailand. I'm sorry, north of Bangkok. I forgot what the name of the town was, but we spoke to some folks from this small town that worked at a factory. So just being able to be there in person, in their community, hearing from them through their translator, of course, as well. But just getting that sense of being out of the comfortable AC room in this hotel and being in that hot, humid Thailand heat is very important. I always say it's important to be there. It's a large part of a job of any experience is being there. As long as you're there, you're doing half the work, I believe. But yeah, it was a super valuable experience. And you know, my last day there, got to get a Thai massage. Oh man, they broke me. They never got a massage in my life, and I went from 0 to 100 real quick.
I was like, you went. That's crazy.
Did that and just had some trouble walking the town after, but you know. So don't go to Thailand and get a Thai massage for the first massage of your life.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Get something at the mall over here, you know, a nice little one, and then
get the little back machines. Start low. That's crazy, but that sounds like a really cool opportunity. Just like global industrial like hygiene is so different from country specific stuff. And I really like how they centered like the folks in the community of like, okay, we talked about this stuff, but now we're actually going to go see and experience it and also speak to folks. And there's even privilege in that, where it's like you have the ability to remove yourself out of it, you know, because you're only there for X amount of time. But, you know, but it's also a really dope learning opportunity of like, this is like, we just talked about all this stuff, but then this is the reality of it. And then you're also understanding all these additional extra things in addition to like the work exposure. It's like, oh, well, actually, like you said, it's really humid here too. So it's like thinking about hydration and stuff like that, in addition to whatever work exposure you're having. So
and it put me in check also, because I'm going in there. I even see the privilege that I have one coming from the Western world, coming from my experience at Berkeley, and coming with the knowledge and experience I have of even just even though it's limited, it's only a few years now of industrial hygiene and these sciences, but just knowing that I have that, how can I not only provide, but also make sure I can pass along this information to these folks actually working with people out in here, specifically in Asia. And that's the focus of the Molecular Health and Safety Support Network. Garrett, I love what he says, where he doesn't just want to provide health and safety support, knowledge and expertise, technical experience, technical information to these organizations, but he wants to teach them how to fish. So not only just provide fish to them, but have them make it sustainable. So that's where we go back again, where we spoke in the beginning, or how can we package this in a way that is sustainable for these communities, for these people, for these workers, for unions, leadership, whatever it may be, where they can keep that going and advocate for themselves with this knowledge that we're able to one, understand, and two, have access to, because this access isn't available for everyone. So that's one big important thing that I realized also at the conference was that.
I'm me and you're on the same wavelength, because when you said the fish, I was like, it's like you teach them, you know, you fish for somebody. I don't know it word for word, because I'm pretty bad at analogies, but I know what you're talking about, where it's like you do it for someone, they'll never learn, but if you teach them how to do it themselves, and like you feed them or you teach them for a lifetime, and you hope that they kind of return the favor for the next person, which is kind of what you're doing actually in this podcast, because you teaching people a lot of fish. They're going to be great fishermen everywhere, every ocean. So I also want to take a moment and pause and first congratulate you on securing your post-grad employment. You had kind of touched on it, but I think if you have the time, or I guess we're kind of winding down, but if you want to talk a little bit more about how you got that position, what is your position? Then also just talking about if you had to do any type of like salary negotiations, or even just discussing like kind of like the salary ranges just in the field of IH in general, just so people can get some like perspective on that, especially because you're like post-grad doing that.
Yeah, so my position is an industrial hygiene consultant.
Okay.
And is it consultant? Yeah, consultant specialist, because there's different levels. So,
Yeah.
it is. I think their bottom level is maybe junior consultant over specialist or something like that.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea. Coming out with a master's degree in industrial hygiene, maybe get that bottom level. Go to specialist or something. But the salary, most from I did lots of applications.
It's whatever you can remember would be helpful. It's definitely different per field.
I was applying. So I kind of put them into 3 buckets. 1 is government, 2 is consulting, and 3 is working for industry. So let's say maybe working for Chevron. It seemed like government was more so the lower paid positions, especially starting out. Some of them would be 60, between $60,000 and $75,000 starting out. Going into consulting, some other types of industry, I'd say the average was about in the 80s, 75 to 80s. And then some of these industries, some of these companies starting out in the 90s, you could even secure something for right at 6 digits. So my position, when I secured it, they offered 80,000. And I did negotiate. And my main negotiation was just talking about the average that I was seeing for that same type of section of jobs that I was looking at. And then also Barry is expensive, bro. Like and I just ran the numbers, because my big thing is that 30% rent to income salary ratio, which is 30% of your income should be going to rent. And I ran the numbers. I paid 2 G's for my apartment, right? Again, this area is expensive. So running the numbers, I was like, that puts me exactly at 30%. Let's see if I can make it a little better. So did get back to them, and they were able to make it 88, which is wonderful. It put me just under that 30%, and then 30%, that's the bare minimum is recommended for that ratio. So I'm very happy with it. Definitely in that pocket that I was looking at. But again, those buckets of types of industry of industrial hygiene, some are a little lower, some are a lot higher. But it's a starting point, right? Only grow from here. So very happy about the situation that I've come to. And something that I don't think we even mentioned in this podcast, but I'm sorry if you could hear the construction next door.
No, it's all good.
Something that's wonderful about this program is that it is funded. Didn't even know about that applying into it, so it was a nice surprise. And tuition is covered. They provide a stipend, and I absolutely wouldn't have been able to attend here and live in this area if it weren't for assistance. So there are barely any industrial hygienists out in this world, in the United States.
Very true.
More a job than people. So it's a wonderful field to come into, especially for these people that want to help expand it. So couldn't talk more wonders about industrial hygiene, occupational health and safety. So many opportunities.
Literally, and when you said that the government was the lowest, that is like so it's backwards in like the medical field, right? Where it's like you get a government job as any type of medicine thing, you're set for life because they just pay you more. But it's just crazy that the reverse is not true, only because like hospitals are only as good as like folks like industrial hygienists who are making sure people are safe when they're doing their work. So that's shocking. But you're right, like the program at Berkeley is fully funded. They're now doing like the STEER program and a lot of the STEER program, for those who don't know, is the COEH department. It's basically, I would say, like a matching program where students who are interested in the field of OEHS, particularly those who are from underrepresented communities who are interested in like getting into the field, they can apply to this summer paid, I would call it like an internship. I feel like it's more like a practicum because you're actually doing the work, but you get paired with faculty at Berkeley, and you just get immersed in it. And it's really cool because it's paid, and that's a really big thing. And some of them are remote, some of them you do have to be in person, which could pose challenges. I feel like they offer summer housing sometimes, but I'm not quite sure on that. But it's a really cool opportunity if you want to.
No, and then also other things that are fully funded in terms of the funding comes from NIOSH, the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. Got that one.
I was like, that one you better know. And OSHA.
So NIOSH is a part of the CDC. Yes. Funding comes from there. Not only is there the industrial hygiene in this program for COH, but there's ergonomics, ergo. Yes. There are the occupational health nurses. And then if you're already a doctor or physician, there's the OCMED path. But there's all these different ways to get into occupational health and safety, not just industrial hygiene, ergo, and all those other opportunities too.
Right. I'm really glad you said that because I forgot about the other little branches. So I got the right person. So sadly, we're going to come to an end to this amazing conversation. So Aldo, I want to thank you for being open and honest and for just really just being very clear and frank about the field, and also being encouraging also to folks who maybe don't think that their major or what they want to do can fit in IH. IH is so big. And I just really appreciate you just being honest about it's not just one path, there's multiple paths. So I want to also end with some questions about self-care and any closing thoughts you want to just share. So the first question is, how do you handle burnout or moments where you're overwhelmed in your leadership roles, or just like as you were maybe balancing being a student, or even kind of now? How did you handle that? Or were there any like things you did weekly or daily that kind of helped you push through those tough moments?
So in terms of handling burnout, I'd say one, hanging out with my wife. It's always helpful. Putting things down, hanging out with my dog. Got a big pit bull, so love him. Bringing it back, right? Food.
Food. Yes.
Right when we were just talking right before we hit record, I was talking about now that I ain't got anything to do, sitting on the couch and I'm bored, like, I'm just start cooking. So just make something, look up some recipe and make it. So that's one big thing, always kind of tuning out and just making some food. Find that therapeutic. I collect lots of records, so I like to DJ. So throw on the music, play something here and there. Just hanging out with friends from Berkeley, being in this area. Coming from San Diego, didn't necessarily know anyone up here. And just lucky enough, I found such great community within the industrial hygiene cohort. But also just everyone in the environmental health sciences program, everyone else. Just amazing. Other faculty members, going out and just, again, having lunch with maybe Garrett, having a beer with another faculty member, just hanging out with other people. So it's that community, it's everything around that comes with it, that really helps me to get through it.
I was like, we always meet up and eat. That's let's go happy hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing. Other people in my food and records. That's
Yeah.
all I do.
I mean,
Really.
that sounds like a good time to me. That's a great way to for now. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your wisdom. And maybe we'll follow up after to see how the consulting is going, because
I'd love to.
I feel like that's also a very like new like niche area that
Yeah.
a lot of people are thinking of doing, but don't really. I personally don't have like a strong understanding of consulting. So maybe we can
Oh, girl,
follow
me
up.
neither.
Oh, so we're
It's all new to me too. So I'm excited to learn. That's the number one
yeah.
thing. The thing that they do provide is that breadth of experience.
Okay.
That's something that's so important as I believe as an early industrial hygienist or anyone in occupational health and safety is get
Yeah.
out there. Number one thing's be there. Remember I mentioned it before. So just
Yeah.
getting that experience, talking to people, really getting in there deep. That's the most important thing, and that's what consulting provides. So it's very important to me. I'm very happy with the decision I made. I originally didn't think of it when I
Yeah.
started. I wanted to go into government, but just learning more about what consulting brought to the table. I was very
Yeah.
pleased, especially very early on in my career.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess that sounds like a follow-up episode is coming, because you're the best person to ask of like, what was that like shift?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is the consulting field. So my mind is thinking, but yeah, I wish you luck. It sounds really dope. Hopefully we can like link up later because I'll be
Oh,
in
we
the
will.
Bay. Yeah,
We will.
yeah. All righty. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank
Right.
you. Had a great time.